In previous lesson we have talked about commit and rollback statements. Let's continue with SAVEPOINT statement. Sometimes we make a lot of changes on some data and do not want to roll back them all. So we need to roll back them to some point. For example, if we go to employees copy table, for example, at first I delete from employees copy where job ID is IT proc. And when I delete it, and after that I want to delete the sales managers, and after that I want to delete, for example, AD and VP in here, and after that I delete PU clerk, and I'm deleting them step by step. And when I delete this, I want to turn back to after deleting sales manager, because I understood that there is a problem in here. So I want to turn up to here because I made a lot of operations in here. What am I going to do for that? In this time I use SAVEPOINT statement. SAVEPOINT saves the state of the transaction and we can roll back to that state. And this time we are going to be able to turn the deletion of sales manager and can continue after that. We can use as many SAVEPOINT as we want. After rollback to an earlier SAVEPOINT, the next ones are deleted but later stay. So if I turn back, for example, I write SAVEPOINT A and SAVEPOINT B and SAVEPOINT C in here. If I turn back to SAVEPOINT B, SAVEPOINT C, and for example SAVEPOINT D. If I turn back to SAVEPOINT B, SAVEPOINT C and D will be gone, but SAVEPOINT A will stay. I will be able to turn to SAVEPOINT A in any time because B is later than A, but when I turn back to B, C and D SAVEPOINTs are deleted and I will not be able to turn to these SAVEPOINTs again. For example, if we create 4 SAVEPOINTs A, B, C, D and roll back to B, C and D will be deleted. Using rollback without SAVEPOINT will delete all SAVEPOINT. For example, I'm in here and I write rollback in here. If I roll back without any SAVEPOINT, all these SAVEPOINT will gone. Let's see that we had a DML operation and SAVEPOINT A, another DML operation and SAVEPOINT B, and another DML and C and DML and SAVEPOINT D. When I roll back to B, all the DMLs and SAVEPOINTs will be gone. It will be rolled back to this position. If you look at in here, I write roll back to B, for example. So let's see that by using it. These deletes can be anything, any DML operation, insert, update or delete. For example, I deleted IT programmers first and clear this script, and I created SAVEPOINT A, and after that if I select from employees copy, I will see that 102 rows. Then I'm going to delete SA manager 5 rows, delete again, and save point B, and check employees copy and see that 5 rows deleted. And I'm going to delete 2 rows again and save point C, and check employees copy table, 2 rows has gone. And as a last, I'm going to delete 0 rows. Can I use anything different? For example, I need to delete something because as a wrap, for example, let's delete it. 2 rows deleted, and I used save point D. When I look at that, 65 rows return because I have deleted all of them. So let's turn back to B. If I turn back to B, these 2 rows and these 30 rows will roll back and will be back. Let's roll it back. Roll back complete. So let's run our query and see that 97 rows return. These deletion has gone. So let's try to turn back to C, roll back to C, and when I run it, we can see that save point C never established in this session or is invalid because we turn back to B and C and D are deleted. Can we turn back to save point A? Of course, because we did not delete A, we delete C and D because of going to save point B. And if I query, I can see that 102 rows. If I use rollback to able to show that, let's execute these queries again and check the employees copy table. We can see that 65 rows. When I roll back without any save point and check the employees copy table, I can see that all the rows are stayed and 107 rows returned. Roll it back to the beginning of the DML operation or the transaction. Transaction started with the first DML operation and finished with the rollback. Roll back to any save point did not finish the transaction. Transaction has finished with just rollback operation without any save point. So save point may be sometimes useful, and this is the end of save point statements. See you in next lesson.